What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is gonna be your review for Post. First of all, let me say this: this episode, that damn Poppy had me in tears at the end of this episode. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie. I had a couple of watered up a little bit. Two, congratulations to Pose. It's already been renewed for season 3 after last week's premiere. I guess the premiere made such a splash. The numbers were so good. Everything is going so great. So, congratulations to everybody over at Pose, and congratulations to us for watching, supporting, retweeting, and all that great stuff that keeps the show going. So, congratulations to everybody because this is a story that continues to need to be told so much that people like myself learn things that I did not know. Um, and just expose a community and tell their story correctly, right? All right. So with that being said, we start off. We're at a ball, as always, and that daggone House of Veracity. Finally, honey, they finally got them a trophy. But you know why? Because now Miss Electra is a part of their house, and she's spending that coin, honey. Because Electra's not going to have. She's not going to be a part of a house that does not win. That's the truth. And you know um she walked that ball and it was beautiful. Her little outfit she had on was like that turquoise lavender, like the material that sort of shimmers and I don't know the name of the shit. And then she had like a fake little train, little over, and she took it off and it stood up because I guess it had that hard material in it, so it would stand up while she walked. Honey, it was everything. I mean, it was everything. And so of course she won her trophy. Pray tell said, well, hell, they finally got them a trophy. He said, forget the scores, just go and get them their trophy. He said, I know y'all are happy. And so Miss Electra says, yes, now I got to get to work. They were like, bitch, please. They said, what are you doing? Because we know good daggone well they ain't paying you this kind of money to walk people to their table. She said, yeah, I got to get to the late shift. They said, look, it's midnight. The restaurant is already closed. What you doing? And of course, she ain't telling them her business. And as she's walking out, Blanca, being Blanca, says, congratulations, Electra. I don't need validation. She said, save your congratulations for somebody who needs validation. I said, this bitch. And I'm so mad because in the previews for next week, it looked like that daggone Blanca is helping her again. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I shouldn't look at the previews before I do my review because then I'll be knowing stuff. But anyway, so then we finally see Miss Electra's secret. We finally see what Electra's doing. Electra down in the red light. We knew it was something dirty. We knew it was something that was grimy. And when I say dirty, I don't mean dirty like it's a bad thing. Because hell, if you like it, I love it. Everybody got a fetish. Everybody got their own thing. But I just mean like wasn't like she was working a second job at another restaurant. Dirty. That's what I mean. So I shouldn't use the word dirty. Anyway, she down in the little red light district. She going to a club called the Hell's Lounge or something like that. And she get down in there. She's a damn dominatrix, beating men's ass all night. Okay. And personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It ain't my thing. It ain't my cup of tea. But again, you're not on the corner turning tricks, right? These are people who are, look, they got fetishes. And one guy, he went to go. The guy she was, you know, domineering. I don't know the right language, but he went to go do a line of coke, and she said, "Oh no, 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 I don't do drugs. I don't condone it, and I don't do drugs." He said, "It's not drugs. This is some other shit he named." He said, "But it keeps me going all night." He pulled out a bankroll. He said, "You do charge by the hour, right?" She was like, "Go on and get high." If we're gonna do this all night and you paying me for it, well, let's go on and get high. And so they at the end of the night they show her counting her money. She said, "I done made more money working here than I made all last year." She said, "This is crazy." She said, "I finally found something that fits my unique talents." And the people around her were like, "Yeah, with the epidemic going on, people are looking for other ways to get off other than actual intercourse." So we got a whole nother line of business here of men who normally would go turn a trick, but they trying to find other ways of getting it in. So Miss Blanca is getting ready to go out and see a potential um landlord about a storefront that she wants to open up her business. And once again, we get a lesson. At least I get a lesson. This may be something that other people know. But Angel is talking to Blanca, and she's like, "Look, I can do your makeup for you and I can help you." She said, "First and foremost, you cannot go and meet with this woman and get clocked." Like the worst thing you could do is for her to see that you're a man. She said, and your fashion is ridiculous. And Blanca was like, well, look, I wasn't blessed with beautiful cheekbones like you. I don't pass like you pass. So when I go into stores, I got to get in there and get out before they realize that I'm not a woman and call the police on me. She's like, so I don't have time to go into the dressing room and see what fits and shop like you can. And Angel was like, you know what? I never thought about that. And I'm like, shit, I never thought about that either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, stuff that we just take for granted today. Because if I saw a man in a woman's shop shopping, or even someone that I clocked as transgender shopping, I wouldn't even trip over it. Like, I wouldn't even be thinking like that. But again, we're at a time where she's like, yeah, I got to get in there and get out. She said, and then by the time I get home, if it doesn't fit, if it's too big, if I don't like it, it's too late. I can't, I guess she ain't going places where she can take stuff back with a receipt. Or I guess she don't want a chance taking it back. So Angel was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and take care of your makeup and let's look in your closet and see what we can find. And of course, Blanca shows up for her meeting with the landlord looking beautiful and had this cute little leopard outfit on, honey. She looked real cute, And the woman she meets with is a real humdinger, honey. She's a bitch. And I believe she's supposed to be patterned after Leona Hemsley's character, like not character, she was a real person. But Leona Hemsley, she's a woman who um got a little shadiness with her. She said she caught her husband with a man and cleaned him out in a divorce. And she's one of the biggest real estate developers in New York. And she took everything in the divorce. She said, and I'm holding on to these properties because I see gentrification coming. She said, do you know what gentrification is? And Blanca was like, well, I'm up on pretty much all the newest, beauty treatments, but I don't know what that is. She said basically she explained to her what gentrification is, turning the neighborhood so everybody can feel comfortable and raise the rent to the point where the people who normally live there can't afford to live there anymore. I said that was a really nice way of breaking that down because that's pretty valid. Um, and so she says, she's looking Blanca up and down. Of course, Blanca nervous as hell that she's gonna get clocked. And she says, first last month's rent's and a deposit. Blanca was like, well, I got the cash right here. She said, what are you doing to get your money? She said, look, I told you. I've been saving up for a year. So and I knew when it happened, Blanca was making a mistake. I knew when it happened and she was making a mistake. The woman said, all right, go ahead and give me the money. Blanca said, well, don't I have to sign a contract or something? She said, no, we can do it on a handshake. She said, I prefer cash because she said, you'll thank me on the back end because then you can get away on your taxes. You can slide on your taxes a little bit. So, we just do it on a handshake. So you all already know that that's going to be some trouble. Okay. But of course, Blanca's so excited. She gets the keys and she's happy, right? All right. So back to the house. So back to the house, y'all. Ricky is home. Ricky is back from tour with I'll Be Sure. And of course, his boo is waiting for him. And he got all the hearts laid out and they about to get it in. Blanca comes home and says, look, I'm happy to see, she done walked in on them about to get it in. And she's like, look, whatever. I need to see y'all in the kitchen. We need to have a house meeting stat. Come to find out, someone else has passed away. I believe his name was Derek. And I'm sure that there's a connection that I'm just not remembering right now. Just like when I didn't remember that when Pray Tell on last week's episode, the boyfriend that Pray Tell went to go look for was the guy he started dating at the end of last season. The name just didn't connect to me. I was like, damn, he just started dating that dude. Anyway, so, Blanca's like, the house is going to the funeral. So they walk up in the funeral. Pray Tell, of course, is there. And Sandra Bernhardt, of course, I couldn't remember her name last week, but Sandra Bernhardt is the nurse, which I thought she was a doctor, but she's a nurse um, that's taking care of these guys. And, of course, Blanca walks in there with her new little outfit on, honey, looking good. And Pray Tell is like, oh, excuse me, miss. And Sandra Bernhardt pours her aside and says, look, are you taking your meds? And she was like, look, I'm just not really feeling that. I'm not really feeling taking this AZT. Like, I just don't know about that. Sandra Bernhardt was like, look, you have got to take care of yourself. That's all we got. You got to take it until we come up with something better. And she said, I'm just really scared of the side effects. She said, okay, well, what about death as a side effect? Like, come on. And so, they sort of talk or whatever. And then they go back to the rest of the group. Well, no, Pray Tell actually comes over to talk to them. Because I don't know if she told Pray Tell that her diagnosis has changed to AIDS from HIV positive. But Pray Tell asked her how everything went with how everything went with the landlord, and she told her she got it and everything, and she told Praytel that she didn't get a contract. Praytel was like, you did it on a handshake, and she was like, what did I do wrong now? And I guess he didn't want to bust her bubble. He said nothing. I'm really proud of you. I'm so happy for you. But his first reaction was, bitch, you don't have no contract. Um, they get back to the house, and none of the boys came to the funeral except for Poppy. None of the boys came to the funeral, so of course, you know, um Blanca is like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? Like, that was real disrespectful. Y'all went out to they you could tell they'd been at the club drinking and everything. And she was like, that was real disrespectful of y'all. Like, how could y'all not go? You know what I'm saying? How could y'all not go to the funeral? That's for somebody that in our community, like we said we were going as a house. So then they go to explain how they went down to the club and how, as usual, they were being ignored until they went on the dance floor and started voguing. Then all of a sudden, the people started surrounding them, and everybody was, like, oh my gosh, y'all are voguing. And they were like, you were right, Mother Blanca. Like, this is about to turn us, this is about to put ballroom on the map. Like, and they started talking about Studio 54. She said, but ballroom isn't a fad. Like, I hear that y'all had a great time and everything, but that doesn't excuse what y'all did. Like, that was just real disrespectful. And she said, and I could smell the liquor from over here. They said, oh yeah, they were buying us drinks all night. So it's sort of a two-sided sword that Blanca wanted this thing to blow up, but she's like, yeah, but let's not forget that we still gotta take care of our community. Like, that's not more important than what we have going on, with our family. So back over to the house of Veracity, Candy and crew. Um, they got popcorn and Slim Fast for dinner, honey. Now, if Electra had a problem with what Blanca was serving over at her house, she wasn't happy about no popcorn and Slim Fast. She was like, this is not acceptable. And of course, Candy told her, look, bitch, by the time I paid rent, this is what we had left. So either you eat it or you don't. But this is what we got for dinner. This is how we run things in my house. Remember, you're part of my house now. So then she starts saying she needs more closet space. Candy said, ain't no other closets in this house except for mine. And that's my closet. Once again, you're not running nothing. This is not your house. So once again, what does Electra do? She gives them one of her little tirades and talk about how she's better than this and how she's this and that. And she ends up yanking the damn table again like she did at Blanca's. And they were like, what the fuck is that? She was like, that's my new signature move when I'm ready to leave. And she goes off and decides that she's going to start her own house, honey. And she goes out and she's got these expensive gifts and she recruits all the people that she think, are the best vulgars and the best this and the best that. And she starts her own house again. And I'll get to that in a minute. And she gets herself a real nice apartment that's got enough room for all of her clothes and all her designers, honey. And so we get to another ball. And this is looked like it was story time. So the house of Blanca's house, they did Romeo and Juliet with Poppy and Angel. And it was cute, but it wasn't, you could tell, it wasn't great. Then we have the house of oh shit. The house of I just had it in my head, y'all. Veracity. Oh, they did Cinderella. And this was nice, they did a little bit better. Then all of a sudden in the middle, the lights go out. Pray tells like, who the hell didn't pay the damn light bill? What's going on? And here comes Miss Electra and her new squad, right? And she was like, and they were like, look, you can't come up in here and just interrupt people's performances. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I just wanted to introduce my new house to everybody. And Preto was like, this ain't the time or the place for that. Like, nobody give a damn about your new house. So she says, well, if everything I've contributed to the ballroom, I figure you would extend that courtesy to me. So Pretel looks over to the judges, and the judges was like, no. So Pretel said, yeah, well, you saw the judges say, get your ass out of here. But guess what? Electra does it anyway. She introduces her new house, the house of Wintour, honey, and they give a performance, okay? Not a real performance, but they have a whole little introduction and they all coordinated and everything, and then they walk up out of there. So everybody knows that Miss Electra has started a new house, honey, and it is the house of Wintour. She is putting everybody on notice. So we got Ricky and your boy over at the bar. I keep wanting to call him Ryan. That's his real name. But anyway, over at the bar, and somebody gonna roll up on him and start, trying to talk to him. And he was like, "Nah, I'm unavailable. I got a man." He was like, "Oh, Ricky, right?" He was like, "Yeah, I know your face. Your face is real familiar. I was Ricky's bunkmate on tour. Your picture was hanging up." And then he proceeds to let him know, "Yeah, me and Ricky were real close. We were sleeping together. Every time you couldn't get in touch with him, he was with me." So of course they get to fighting. Damn, pray tell. Oh, I forgot to say, Candy and Electra got into the fight. Candy done pulled out her damn hammer. Electra done pulled out her switchblade, and they had to get security to put them out of there. So pray tell, when they got to fighting, pray tell was like, "Damn it, we fighting again. Fuck it, the ball is over. Y'all, he was like, y'all got better things to do right now instead of fighting each other. We need to be fighting other people." So he ended the ball and put them all their asses out. So we get back to the house, and so honey, they get back to the house and they just are arguing. They going back and forth because of course Ricky's saying, "I didn't do it, I didn't do it." He was like, "I don't believe you, I don't believe you." And then he said, "And to think I let you talk me into having sex without a condom." So now here go Blanca. Like, what the fuck? I thought we had a conversation about this. What are you doing? And he was like, I'm sorry. He was like, well, I thought we were monogamous. So that pretty much ended the argument. Everybody kind of went to their room. And we'll get to that a little bit later on. So back to Miss Leona Hemsley's character. She's being interviewed, and her son comes in, flashing all this cash, telling my son, "I done made the collections." And so she asked the interview, because she's doing a profile on women in business or something like that, and how women come up from the ashes from a bad divorce to become one of the biggest business women in New York. And so she says, "Look, let me talk to my son for a minute." She said, "First of all, I need you to start dressing like a businessman. The two of them alone." She was like, "Second of all, don't be coming in here flashing cash in front of a damn reporter. What the hell is wrong with you? Then they be getting all into my taxes and stuff." He said, "Oh yeah, I went by that storefront you rented out, the other day to meet with the electrician about some stuff, and that's a man, right?" She was like, "What do you mean that's a man?" She was like, "That's a man." He said, "That's a man." He said, "See, that's your problem. You so busy looking at other stuff, you're not paying attention. That is a man." She said, "Well, if that's true, he got to get out of there." So she sends the son over there to kick Blanca out. So of course, Blanca leaves or whatever, and she's talking to Pray Tell, and Pray Tell tells her, "Look, you need to fight." She said, "But what do I have to fight it on?" She was like, "I don't have a contract. I have no proof that she ever even rented me that space." He was like, "I don't know, but you need to fight. Like, you can't just roll over and die. Like, at a certain point, you got to just stand up. What you gonna do? Just give up all the money you've been saving and give up on your dream?" So then she tells Pray Tell about Ricky and God damn it, not having sex without a condom. And Pray Tell says, "Look, you got to find another way to get through to them, because let's be real. When me and you were their age, we weren't thinking about our future. We weren't thinking about living past whatever. And yes, they know they should be using a condom, but everybody thinks it won't happen to them." He said, "So there's you've talked to them. They seeing people dying all around them, but for whatever reason, it's just not sinking in that it could happen to them. So you got to figure out." He's like, "First of all, you need to fight. You're their mother. You need to show them how to fight. Second of all, you got to figure out how to get through to them in a different way, because talking to them ain't working." So she was like, "You're right. You're right. I'm gonna have to come up with something. I gotta figure something out." So they end up having dinner, and she decides that she's gonna give them a demonstration on how to use a condom with a cucumber. And of course, they all laughing and they all like, "Oh my goodness." And Angel was like, "Look, chill out. This is not a joke. Chill out." Um, and she tells them her story. She said, "Look, I was young. I was looking for love, and I allowed myself to be used by men." She said, "Because in that moment, the moment while we were having sex, that moment we were together, I believed that they loved me, and I allowed myself to fall into that, like we were in love, like we were a couple. And in the moment, I just got caught up, and I had sex with many men. Um, and after a couple of years, she said I had to get drunk and all that." She said, "But after a couple of years, I stopped drinking. I started loving myself more and making better decisions. But by that time, it was too late. Now, and so Angel was like, 'Tell him. So she actually told them that she was HIV positive. She said this was, um, that was the consequence of my bad behavior. She said, so I'm not just coming at you guys because we seeing these people and we're going to these funerals. I'm saying it because of me, because of my experience, because of what I went through. And that was the part that Poppy, man, that was the part that broke me down. Poppy said, I got you. He said, ain't nothing gonna happen to you. He said, if you need me to go out and steal you some cough medicine, he said, if I even see you sniffling, I'll go out here and steal some cough medicine. Believe me when I tell you, nothing's gonna happen to you. I got you, baby. That thing broke me down because he meant that thing. He was crying and he meant that thing. Um, And then we see Blanca. She stayed in her salon. She's in there painting and everything. And Miss Landlord comes through and says, "What the hell are you doing here? I put you out." She said, "Well, I paid first month and last month's rent, and so this is my place." And she said, um, I will not have you here. She said, I'll tell you what, I went down to some office to protect, tenants' rights. She said, and they gave me a really nice free lawyer that's willing to sue you. So I tell you what, you can either, she said, I have squatters' rights because I have the keys and I paid, she said, so you can either let me stay here and honor your agreement or we can go to court. She said, baby, I got a whole she said, I have a whole law firm on retainer. I will crush you. She said, I tell you what, it is what it is. She said, but I'm not leaving. You're just gonna have to do it. I'm fighting. She said, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna fight this one out. She said, well, I know some other people too, some Italians and some Russians that, will take care of it. She said, are you threatening me? She said, I'm not threatening you. I'm threatening your kneecaps. Blanca said, look, she said, I've been beaten more times than you've had breakfast. She said, and I'll be gone for a couple of days while I, lick my wounds, but then I'll be back. She said, so however you want to carry it. It is what it is. I'm not going nowhere. So she was like, well, I'll see you in court. Blanca said, okay. It is what it is. So, Blanca fought. She's fighting. And then at the very end, she's in her salon, honey. She got her salon all set up and she gets a customer. So she said, you're my first customer. So she actually gets a customer to come through. So I think that was pretty much. Oh no, it's not. Okay, sorry. One last thing. The guys go to get tested after the talk with Blanca. They go get tested, and while they're getting tested, Ryan, that's his real name anyway. He is really thinking on his relationship with Ricky, and he said, you have become my everything, my reason to live. He said, I'm just not happy with my life right now. What am I doing? Ricky said, you're going to school, you're voguing, you're doing ballrooms. He said, but that's not enough. He said, at the end of the day, you cheated on me. And I know you did. Stop lying. He was like, just stop. You cheated on me. He said, but that should be okay because we're young. Like, I'm too young for you to be my everything. And so Ricky is like, look, I got to get the rehearsal. Can we finish this conversation later? And he's like, sure, we'll finish it later. So we see them at the ball. This was the big ball they've been talking about, the Euros ball, which of course the God of Love. I guess it's supposed to be around. Well, no, they said it was after Valentine's Day. And um the house of Evangelista walked, and they supposed to be Feathers. Feathers was part of it. They walked and they got low scores. They got like 8s and 7s. So of course Blanca was a little disappointed. And you can see Praytel was kind of like, okay. Then that damn Candy, that daggone Candy gonna come out there and interrupt them. So, Praytel was like, first of all, you don't have no feathers on your damn outfit. And second of all, you can't come in here, you can't come in here interrupting what everybody else is doing. So he was like, look, they cut. They're chopped. That's the word. They're chopped. So they didn't even get a chance to walk the house of Veracity. Because Candy asked, simple as, she's talking about some Praytel, you wouldn't be talking like that if I had my other purse, the purse with the hammer in it, honey. So then um here comes the House of Wintour. They did that. Honey, they did that. Okay. They had on their white sequins and glitter, and they came out in this half of a clam. And of course, the clam opened up, and who's inside? Miss Electra, looking beautiful in this white almost like a goddess type, like Greek goddess type, toga type outfit, but it was beautiful on her dark skin. And so of course they win the trophy, honey. Of course they get the trophy. And Pray Tell says, it's gonna be, he said, House of Evangelista is gonna be a little bit harder for you to get Mother of the Year. He said, but I tell you what, he said, there's another category that you can't win at the ball. He said, Businesswoman of the Year. He said, you are an entrepreneur. You are doing some big things. You are a house mother that has started her own business. And that, so Pray Tell is hyping her because you could tell that Blanca was real disappointed. But, Pray Tell is putting the spotlight on her once again and letting her know, look, this is all great right here, but what you're doing out there is just as important. And so it was a great moment, that it took a little bit of Miss Electra's thunder a little bit, which of course, Pray Tell to do that every chance he gets. But I do think it was important for them to see that, Blanca's doing some big things. He said, she's representing for the whole community and everybody was clapping for her and everything. So it was really good. Again, 10s across the board, Pose. Another great episode. And the previews for next week look like they're going to be even better. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.